Hello, good afternoon. It's Graham Cofe with another Move TV interview. And today I'm going to be speaking to the wonderful Laura Anne Harvey.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. Tell us, firstly, where it is that you're coming from.
So I'm based in Harden in North Wales, but I do cover the whole of the UK.
What took you to that part of the country?
A previous job, to be honest, I got a relocation package to Chester, sort of fell in love with the area and then found Harden, fell in love with it and bought a house here.
Oh, why wouldn't you? Lovely, lovely part of the world. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do.
Yeah, so I do hospitality consulting and coaching. So working with restaurants, bars, hotels, events, catering, small events, helping business owners, I guess, to improve sales, improve operational efficiency, and ultimately improve their profit.
It's quite a lot of different elements to that.
Yeah.
Which for you is the element? Is it the operational efficiency, or is it the sales, or which of those bits do you find most people within the hospitality sector struggle with the most?
It's normally the costing side, to be honest. I think a lot of people have a passion for food, they have a passion for people, a passion for service. So they jump into hospitality because, they've been into restaurants, they love the experience, so they think I'd love to do this. And then the reality is that it is a very numbers driven business and you have to really sort of be on it. So I do a lot of sort of profit and loss support for my clients, which I do really enjoy. And it's probably the most rewarding because it's the one metric that you can obviously track the return on to see if you've done well for the client or not.
Is there a case then where a lot of people develop a really great product, but it just doesn't scale, or it's they don't know how to scale that?
Yeah, it's not necessarily the scaling. I think all the clients that I've helped that I've done profit and loss reviews with, they've all got a great product and their sales are actually really good. But in terms of like costing their menu, they've never done that before. So, or they've worked their costs out to like a gross sale value instead of a net sale. So it's like there's the difference there that they haven't accounted for. So I guess small changes like that. They're getting poor costs from suppliers. They haven't done a lot on procurement, so they've kind of just opened the restaurant with the first cost that's been presented with them, whether that's food, packaging, cleaning, chemicals. So working with them on different areas, really.
Yeah, I've just done another program this morning actually with someone else in the marketing area, and one of the things that they were talking about is that quite often people either undervalue what they do or they overvalue, and it's trying to find that middle line. And is that the case with a lot of people in the hospitality industry, is getting that middle ground absolutely right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that it's hard to be. I've been quite fortunate. I haven't worked with anyone yet where I've had to say, your product isn't quite as valuable as what you see it.
So you think it is?
Yeah, so my clients have been great, to be honest. Their products have all been really, really strong, really good value propositions. So it hasn't really been a case of that for me. It's more been, tweaking it, like what's working, what's not working. They might have a dish on the menu that they absolutely love, but the margin on it's very poor. It's a low seller. It's a pain in the bum, really. So get rid of it and replace it with something that's more profitable.
What was your journey into this then? What made you wake up one day and go, well, I'm going to help people in the hospitality industry? Did you have an interest in that yourself first for a long time, or?
Yeah, so I was promoted to restaurant manager very young. I used to live in Devon. So by the time I hit 18, I'd already been, managing a restaurant. Fell in love with hospitality, decided not to go to university. Have done it now, just did it backwards. And then with my partner at the time, got to, about the age of 19, 20. And I said, there's nothing in Devon for people who want a career in hospitality. It's all sort of season related. The hours are, not, there's no party life. There's nothing really in Devon, really, that if you want a good hospitality career, it's not the right place. So he went to university in Nottingham and I did a little bit of research, and Nottingham at the time was quite like advertised on 365 bars, somewhere to go every day of the year. And I was like, I'll just go there and see what happens. And then, just sort of progressed from there, really. Fell into more management roles, and then went from like operations manager, company training manager, operations and marketing director, and just sort of progressed up. And then I think working in a family run business gave me like the opportunity to do a lot. So my old boss was great. He gave me the freedom to learn. He gave me the freedom to kind of, if there was something that I think he knew I got very bored easily, so he knew he had to let me get my fingers in like other pies. So, you know, I got to work with the HR department. I got to work with the accounts department. I'd sign off the P&Ls. So I guess I was in that operations role, but I was getting more sort of a managing director responsibility in terms of being left to run the operational side of the business, which I don't think I would have got in, you know, a larger company. And then I guess from that, it just made me think like there must be quite a lot of, you know, family-owned businesses who probably need a bit of support. And from the research that I did, most consultancy companies are targeting the big brands. You know, they want the 12 to 24 month contracts. They want the big project price. There wasn't really anyone out there with an independent package that was, you know, relevant to an independent business. So I thought, well, I guess I saw a bit of gap in the market really. And I thought, do you know what, I would love to do it. I spent quite a lot of my career opening franchised businesses. So working with the franchisee directly. And a few of them said to me, why are you doing this? Why are you opening a restaurant for someone else? You could come and help us open it for yourself. And that obviously gets things thinking in your head. And then got drunk at the Christmas party, went into my boss's office and said, I want to do my own consultancy business.
Well, that will do it every single time, won't it?
Yeah. And I was fortunate enough, actually. And he said, you know, that's great. I think it, you know, you can learn more. You won't, you know, you don't get bored. So he allowed me to actually do that part-time around my job. So I had the opportunity to kind of, I guess, develop my business. And then November last year, I was just in a position where I was turning business down for myself. So I made the decision to leave and go full-time.
Yeah, it's lovely to get to that point where you're able to jump, or you have to jump, because if you don't jump at that point, you're literally turning business away. I've been through a similar thing myself when I was developing a business before. I was literally in 2 jobs or 2 roles. I was developing this business whilst doing some work, and I just ended up having to go, I'm leaving. I've got to leave. This is now.
It's one of those as well, isn't it? Where it's like, how do you know if you wait 6 months or you wait a year, you might not be in as good of a place, you know? So if you don't do it now, you might never do it.
Well, yeah, and there's only 24 hours in the day. You get to a point where you're physically too exhausted to really put enough energy into the thing that you have to be putting the energy into. So you've got to do it actually I think, and as much for the business, for your own personal sort of well-being as well. Yeah. At that point. Now it's interesting because I'm obviously in Somerset, which is right next to Devon. I go into Devon quite a lot. So you know, you're originally down here, and you said, well, you know, it wasn't necessarily the development down here, but there is a lot of eatery still down here. There's still a lot of hospitality down here. So do you now still come back down to places like this to help businesses in this area, or are you focusing on a particular geographic area?
No, so I'm working all over the UK. I had a client in Truro actually, so not too far from Devon. At the minute, I've got a client in Windsor, a client in Suffolk. Just about to open a restaurant in Wokingham next week. So yeah, I mean that's like 4 or 5 hours away. So happy to travel, I guess.
Yeah, and do you need to physically travel out to all of those places when you're working with people? Is that part and parcel of making it work, or?
I think so. I set my business up just before COVID, and I remember when I tried to do coaching online, and a lot of potential clients were saying, sorry, I'm not interested in this online thing. How can you coach me without seeing my business? And now I've kind of seen a reverse on that. Now it's kind of, you know, I'm saying, let me come see the site and then we'll carry on the coaching sessions online. And it's like, oh no, we can do everything online. So I think that COVID for me was probably like a blessing in disguise in that sense. So I am able to do quite a lot remotely. And I do quite a lot remotely, but I do always try and at least go and see the client site, so that when I am giving advice, or even the business coaching side, you know, I've seen the brick and mortar, I guess.
Yeah. And then there's certain things that don't, you know, transfer over quite so well, are there, online? You don't get to necessarily see some of the things which, you know, are kind of hidden. not just on Zoom, but, you know, when you visit a business.
Yeah, when someone's trying to explain an operational issue that they're having to you, sometimes it can be, you know, they explain it to you and you think they've explained it really well. They think they've explained it really well, but then you go to site and then you realise that, this is why it's not working. So yeah, there are some jobs that definitely I do need to go to site for, but there are, people are more acceptable to the online as well now.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I mean, clearly within what I do now, I can do everything online, and I don't really need to go and see anybody. But in my previous role, where I was doing workplace assessments, even though all of that moved online over the COVID period, there was nothing like actually physically being in the same building as someone, because you understand the journey path that someone goes through during a day. You can actually see where this is where they come in. These are the steps that they go up. This is the area that they go here, and you understand the impacts of all those things, and you develop an eye, don't you, as well, for seeing detail within a business that even the people within the business perhaps don't see. Do you find that?
Even just things with one client, something that I was working on her with was kind of work-life balance. And, she asked me, you've got a lot of multi-site experience. I've only got one restaurant. Why can't I operate it efficiently? And, I went down to see her, and we had a meeting, and constantly it was the staff coming over, asking questions, interrupting, asking things that are very basic. They can go away and think about it, but they're going to ask her because she's there and it's the easy option. So, something as simple as me saying to her, why don't you go and work in a coffee shop for 2 hours a day? It's just changed her, it's changed her work life dramatically. Like, she does 10 hours now, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And she's actually getting stuff done. Whereas before, I'd set her tasks, I'd give her action points, and it would be like, I haven't had time to do this, the staff need this, the staff need that. Well, it's just because you're there. Take yourself out of the situation, and they'll find their independence. And they have. And, she's found that really beneficial. Whereas if I hadn't gone to site, I probably wouldn't have seen the depth of that. And, I would probably still be struggling to get the stuff from her.
To understand
that.
And where's the development for your business? Where are you taking it for the future?
Yeah, so I've just I'm looking at ways to obviously try and grow. There's only one of me, so there's only so many hours I can do. I have just taken a VA on to support me with some of the day-to-day stuff that I'm a bit of a control freak, but I'm trying to let some of that go. And I've found a great guy who potentially I can subcontract some work out to. So I'm at the level where I've been kind of fully booked since I went full time in November with bigger jobs. So I guess the only way for me to grow now is to find people that I can trust to work with and grow it that way.
Yeah, and it takes a while to find the right people, doesn't it? When you've built something yourself, and you know that your processes work, and you know that even though you can perhaps tell those processes to somebody else, that they might not do it quite the same way as you, and you kind of have to navigate that. Mentally.
No, it is hard, and I am a control freak, and it's one of those that it's like, practice what you preach. I'm always saying to my clients, you're paying your manager for a reason. Let them do their job and delegate to the staff, and then when it's your own, it's like I
want to talk to you about Move quickly before we go, but just before that, just tell us, if there are people watching within the hospitality industry, who is it that you're really looking for? Who can you really help the best?
So my target market is independent businesses or independent groups. So people who are I really want to work with people that are in the growth stage. I'm happy to help with the profit and loss, but they're more quick jobs. So anyone who's got a growing business, I offer a flexible operations director support role. So, rather than paying an operations director salary for the year, they can use me on a retainer basis and have access to me just for the hours that they need. So any growing businesses, any franchise businesses, I've got a lot of experience, whether that's helping the franchise to meet the needs that the franchisor is nagging them for, or helping the franchisor to develop the business and take back, coach and help the franchisees to obviously improve the business. So not looking for those big 12-month contracts.
No, but is there an idea, not necessarily an ideal client just in terms of the business, but is there an ideal client where you've gone, I've always wanted to be able to do a business that's doing this? Is there a type of hospitality
so I won't say the name, but I'll give you one of the clients who I really love working with. He's got 4 venues and he has a wholesale hub as well. He uses me as an operational director support, and it's great because I get involved with his team, and I feel like I'm part of a team, but I'm not part of a team, if you know what I mean. So that's really rewarding, because you're helping the company director financially and with growth, but then you're also helping his team as well. So I really enjoy that. Yeah.
So you like and that's where you feel you really thrive, is where, you know, you can feel other people bouncing off of you and wanting to bounce off of you, and etc.
Yeah.
And
I've been told by customers, it's definitely my unique selling point, is that I'm very open to just getting, you know, mucking in with the staff. Yeah. You know, a lot of consultants, when the feedback that they've given me on the consultations they've had is, we give strategic advice. You know, we'll tell you how to train your staff, and most of the people I work with are hands-on operators, so time is something that they lack. So when I go, I can just come into your business and work with your team. Don't worry, I'm happy to work in the restaurant or wherever you need me. It's like, oh wow, it's not going to take me away from what I'm doing.
No, brilliant. I love that. I love that approach. I feel the same way. I always love working with clients where I try and be part of the team, and you know, it's because you don't want to be, as anybody that's a consultant, you don't almost want to be the person that's just like, you know, here's the brief, go away, do it, you know, deliver on that, but we're not going to interact with you. I actually need that interaction. I feel that's really important.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think some people have a perception of consultants as well, that they're coming in to catch the staff out. So actually, if you take the approach of like, I'm actually here to work with you, like if we don't get the result together, there's no result for anyone, as opposed to, I know better than you, listen to my advice and do what I say. Yeah, definitely works a lot better with that approach.
No, there you go. Well, listen, if anyone's watching this throughout the day or over the weekend or whatever, and you're in the hospitality business, and you know, Laura sounds like someone that could be a great use to you, do get in touch with her. She's there to connect on LinkedIn. So just make sure you do that. And of course, you are this month's Move Member of the Month. What was that like, hearing that news?
Yeah, no, really nice. You know, it's hard to network. It's hard to network when you are busy. But it's one of those where I think networking is very important, because I'm busy now, but I might not be busy in, you know, X amount of months. So trying to maintain and build those relationships. And I think it's nice for your commitment to a group to be recognised. And Move's definitely helping me. I mean, I'm down half a stone now from the last 3 weeks from my little pep talk from from the group chat. So yeah, benefits personal and business.
What was it in particular about Move that kind of made you want to gravitate to them as a sort of business support group?
So I was in another networking group with Chris Drew, and I went full-time self-employed, and I just said to him, I'm not looking for a networking group that's referral driven. I'm looking for something that's like, you know, support driven, where I can go and be open and honest about how business is. And then he just said straight away, you need to join Move. So yeah, gave it a go, and yeah, delivers.
Well, I didn't even know he was in the room. I was going to say, Laura, thank you so much for joining me for this Move TV today. And I appreciate you coming on. This has been another Move TV with Graham Cove and Laura. Bye for now.
Cheers.